when you have in-laws, sometimes they will have things called family reunions, and that doesn't have to be a bad experience if you don't go to your family reunion. Because then you can sit in the lawn furniture and go, well, at least we're not related to these freaks. But sometimes you get together with the in-laws and it's awkward and weird. And the first time I went over to the in-laws' house after my wife and I got married, it was strange. And so my mother-in-law suggested that we all play a game, Scruples. Scruples, have you ever played that game? This is how it works. You sit around the table with a bunch of loved ones for the time being. And you ask each other questions to test your code of ethics, what you think is right and wrong. The question came up during the game for $1 million. For $1 million, would you rip the wings off a living butterfly? Now, my mother-in-law is one of these kind of people. For $1 million? For $1 million? No, I would not harm any living creature on the planet for any amount of money. The same question came to me. Are you kidding? I would rip the wings off 1 million butterflies for $1 apiece. Just be shucking butterflies. How much for a hummingbird? I've never seen people get so upset about an imaginary animal before. So, I've been doing some reading recently, and it's been fascinating. I decided that I needed to read because I've discovered that I've been lax in my reading. I'm getting lazy, and I think part of it is because as society we're getting lazy. Look at the way we don't even use words now when we go into restaurants. Remember, because it's too cumbersome to say a hamburger, French fries, and a Coke. Now we just go 3. I think that's a downward slide. It's just going to be a matter of time before there's going to be pictures on the floor when you walk in and go. Let me big-size that. Okay. So I'm trying to use more language, and I'm reading the classics, and I've discovered that I'm not smart enough to read the classics. If you've ever tried to go back and read things that were written like in the 1800s or 1700s, it's still English, but it's really hard. So I did a little research, and I discovered that Shakespeare had a working vocabulary of 54,000 words. 54,000 words in Shakespeare's vocabulary. Right? We, in the United States of America today, have a working vocabulary on average of 3,000 words. Yeah, that's why when we read Shakespeare, we're like, what light through yonder window? Does this come on a DVD? And it put me under the pile because I realized that presumably even children back in the 1700s were probably smarter than I was. They had more vocabulary. I wouldn't even be able to read fairy tales to kids in the 1700s. It'd have to be like, in time past, though not long ago, there lived pigs in stature little, and number 3, who, being of an age both entitled and inspired to seek their fortune, did set about to do thusly. When they had traveled a distance, pig number first spake, saying, "Hearken, brethren, heed this tempestuous realm. Tarry we long from hearth and home, we shall fare, I fear, not well." And so, being collectively agreed, but individually impelled, the diminutive swine set about each to construct for himself an abode. Pig number 1 did erect his house from straw. Pig number 2 did likewise, though rather not from straw, instead from sticks. Meanwhile, unique in his imaginings, pig number 3 did erect as his domicile stalwart and garish, a structure made from brick entirely. Soon there happened along, as is frequently the scenario in classic tale of protagonist pig or red hooded child, a wolf, carnivorous nature in full season. He called out to the straw ensconced swine, saying, "Pray thee, pig, grant me entrance." But pig 1 recalled with sage foreboding that he is mad who trusts in the tameness of a belly-pinched wolf, and responded immediately, "Nay, it shall not be, indeed, not by wit or whiskered jowl." To this most most expected response, the wolf replied immediately, "Then steel thyself, little pig. Forthwith shall I endeavor by employing means both huffing and puffing to dismantle yon flaxen fortress." Whereupon there issued forth from the wolf an exhale of gale proportion, that quickly rendered straw hovel to dregs and dross, and carried aloft piglet and shattered quarters both. Exposed now to claw and fang, Piglet one made haste, wolf in pursuit, to the stick-festooned sanctum of peccary secondary. Causing Pig 2 to call out in dismay, "Well, this knots my knickers! The marshalling of feral wolf to my doorstep is nowhere among those endeavors amenable or congenial." "A thousand pardons," squealed one, "'twould seem the beast's baneful breath has purged me of home and sound judgment alike." The maelstrom of the wolf's second exhale splattered second swine's shack and shortened his sanctimonious scolding simultaneously. "Lo and behold," squealed two, "stand we now amid wooden wreckage, tremulous and vulnerable, with nary a strategy for eschewing the canine devourer looming in deadly proximity." "Strategy," squealed one, "while 'tis noble to contemplate tactical particularities, pressed as we are with the time restraint forbidding detailed strategical conversations, I would urge we run!" Whether by their own fleet-footed competence or the wolf's windless attitude, the diminutive swine arrived at their ultimate kindred neighbor's inexpugnable brick ingress unscathed. Upon the third pig's door, with urgent hooves they pounded, calling out, "Unbar this entrance, and with haste we beseech thee!" The third pig hailed from the American colonies. Possessing a vocabulary substantially less robust than his impromptu visitors, replied, "Say what?" "Seek we sanctuary," they implored, on the verge of hysteria, "lest we fall forthwith to the ravenous appetency of yonder approaching carnivore." Still confounded by their importunate words, Pig 3 did render ajar his portal, whereupon 1 and 2 spilled through and collapsed beyond the threshold, enervated. "So you all just wanted to come in?" You could have said that. The sinister hiss of the wolf could once again be heard outside. "Pray thee, pigs, grant me entrance." "The wolf," said 1 and 2. "Wolf," said 3. "What do you suppose he wants?" "He seeks to gain sanctuary. Indeed, he would occupy this very alcove were he but afforded the most meager of opportunities." "Right, I'm going to ask him what he wants." "Under no circumstances," exclaimed 2, flinging self bodily against the door, "there is naught to be gained accosting external opponents save our own immediate demise." "Are you talking about my mama?" House and occupants were again engulfed in a malevolent blast of wolfish wind. The foundation shook, the frame rattled, and lo, to the astonished eyes of Piglet and encroaching scoundrel alike stood the third pig's lodging undaunted. Yeah, good news for pig fans. Aghast and dismayed, Pig 2 queried of 3, "How does against such relentless and torrential onslaught this domicile endure?" Pig 3 puffed out chest, tapped a hoof to the hearth, and responded, "It's American made."